Hey, how's it going, Bible Talk family? Welcome back to Bible Talk with BW, where we read scripture, we observe it, and we apply it to our lives. As you guys see, I have this giant club on my hand here. I wasn't using proper knife technique, and I ended up cutting through zip ties towards my hand instead of away like you're supposed to, and it went through the zip tie and continued on into my thumb, where I cut a tendon and had to have surgery. And so I've just been dealing with that the last couple weeks. And it's ironic that I've been home but haven't really had the motivation or wanting to do videos, just because getting out of bed meant putting my hand below my heart. And whenever I did that, I had a throbbing pain. But it's feeling a lot better now. And the road to recovery starts now. And it's kind of like I always say, where we're at is where we're at. And today's Wednesday, so I'm going to do a little Wisdom Wednesday message for you guys. And the message that we're in is Abraham tested. And I can just relate to being tested right now for sure. And what I want to talk about is the very first verse in this. It says, "Sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, 'Abraham.' 'Here I am,' he replied." And this whole story, which we're going to get into tomorrow, I'm going to go through it tomorrow, it's a Polaroid picture of Jesus. This is a snapshot of what is going to come into focus later on down the line. And this is Abraham being called to sacrifice his son Isaac. And this is one of my favorite stories. It's a beautiful picture of what God has in store for the world. And what I want to talk about, why I chose this, is that God won't test us with more than what we can handle. And I was just reminded of this yesterday. My wife said something to me that I didn't think a whole lot of at the time, but it just stuck with me throughout the day and then into today. And I was just in awe and thanksgiving. What my wife said was, "Can you imagine going through this injury a year ago?" And a year ago, I wasn't in a good place mentally, or my health, or physically. If I would have had to go through this injury a year ago, it would have been really bad for our family. And to the point where I don't know if we would have made it through it. I was on the verge of pretty much losing everything just because of my actions, my choices. But God's faithful, and he called me back when he did. And I've been studying and in the Word, and it's just allowed me to get through this test so much easier as to where a year ago it would not have been easy for our family, or for me, or for my wife at all. And it's just a great reminder that God will he'll use tests for his glory. And I got to remember that it's so easy to point and talk about ourselves, but the fact is, God isn't concerned with so much me. He is, and he's not. He's more concerned of what he can show others through me, what he can show others through the trials you're going through. And right now I've learned a lot of lessons. I've jotted down just little thoughts throughout my time in bed that I'll probably share over time. But I was just reminded of the awe of just how grateful and how amazing God is that he said, "Yeah, I'm going through a tough time right now, just staying home. I want to get back to work. I want to get back to helping others and all that fun stuff. But I've really been able to see that it's okay for people to help me. My wife's having to do a lot to help me, and it helps that she wants to help me. That the person I am today is a lot easier to help than the person I was a year ago, and that's all thanks to God." And this story is a great reminder of just the tests are just that, a test, and that we don't always hear God during the test because it is a test, but he never allows us to be put in something that we can't handle. And what one person might be going through might seem impossible to another person, but that person has been prepared for that test. The other side of it, God will allow us to go through things in order to wake us up, like He did for me in the past. And you can feel the difference when you go through them. I know that what I had to go through in the past was in order to get my attention, and what I'm going through now is to show God's power and mercy to others, because that's exactly what He is. He's powerful, He's merciful, He's patient, and He's kind, and He's loving. And I was just reminded of all that stuff today, really reminded of it, just in Thanksgiving, that God sent His Son to die for us, that I don't deserve anything I have, and I'm reminded that everything I have really means nothing without God. And I'm just thankful for a great wife who is a godly woman who can help me stay on the right path. But that's all I wanted to share today. Excuse my absence for a while. I'm back, and yeah, I'll be making videos. We'll be going through the story tomorrow, so come back tomorrow to read through Genesis 22. All right, until next time.